Uh, we're going to go through the demo number 3, that means the part 3 of the Axiom Protect dashboard. And in this, we are going to have a quick look at all the external communication, basically that what Axiom does with the outside parties. So the outside parties are essentially different type of basically messages and external parties that we talk to in terms of communication. So which is SMS, USSD, email, fax, as well as push notification. So push notification is for Google, Android, as well as web. So if you have a Google app or an Android app, or if you have an iOS app or an Android app or a web app, then you can use the push facility for that. So Axiom itself uses push when it comes to out-of-band authentication, when it comes to sending alerts to the user in case they do a transaction or there's a failure in transaction. So now what we have done is that we have also exposed it to to the external parties. Let's say your internet banking or your your credit card system, or your as simple as your marketing a platform that wants to send messages. Then they can actually leverage on Axiom itself. Uh, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the dashboard. Once you log in, you get to see the gateways, and if you have the access to that, you will be able to see all the gateways over here. So let me start with the SMS. What we realized is there are 3 which are the most popular one is the SMS, email, and push. Fax is used, but it's very rare, where you want to send some fax messages, or whether you want to send an ePIN, which uses fax as a way of doing it, eFax. Then other is the voice, which is again where you want to send a text-to-speech kind of messages. So if you have providers like Twilio or text-to-speech, EPBX or a switching system, then you can use that. So what we'll do is in this demo, we'll go through the SMS, email, and push. This is what we'll focus on. And I'll also quickly run through the USSD voice as well as the fax. So email, I'm going through the SMS. The first thing which I would like to point out over here is the ability of Axiom to have more than one gateway for communication. That means that you will have a primary gateway and you will have a secondary gateway. The simple reason for this is that the message has to go to the user, right? So in that context, if you only have one gateway and that gateway is down, that means all your systems will choke up because they can't send the message out. So Axiom is smart enough to understand if the gateway, that means in this case the SMS gateway, is up or down. So how it does that, it is that in the background, Axiom is running a scheduler which is constantly checking after every 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 30 seconds that whether the gateway is up or not. If it is down, then it will mark it and then it will start using the other one. So that means you can have 2 gateways. So obviously it's suspended, so you can mark it as active. The second important feature is the failover option. So meaning that would you like it to fail over? That means that it is your choice as a operator or system owner that whether you want, if the primary gateway is down, you want to switch over to the secondary one or not. Then a number of retries. Before actually switching over to the other gateway, how many retries you want to do with the primary gateway. So let's say the primary gateway was bit burdened or overloaded. So you want to give that gateway another opportunity. So you say, okay, I will retry after 2 or 3 or 5 counts. And then in between those 2 retries, what will be the duration? That means whether it will be 10 seconds, 30 seconds or 60 seconds. So if the first request was sent on 10 o'clock and you have set it to 60 seconds and the retry was 2 or let's say 3, then it will send the message on 10:01 after 60 seconds, and then it will send another message at 10:02, that means 2 minutes, and it will send it out. The next one for the SMS is whether the message is what's the length of the message. So if the message is more than 160 characters, it will increase your billing. So you want to restrict the length and then you want to drop it if the length is big or not. So over here you can allow or disallow it. Then obviously this is the actual the I would say the IP or the domain name and the port where it is running, and then also the credentials which your SMS gateway requires. And then in the SMS gateway, what we've realized is that you need to configure your your phone number. That means this is the message which will be sent with this particular phone number. Also, Axiom caters for any additional values that you want to pass it to the connector. And last but not the least, Axiom has a plug and play option of configuring SMS gateways. So meaning that, let's say you have a specific gateway you want Axiom to work with, you don't need to change anything in Axiom. All you have to do is build or create a plugin, and the class path or the class name of that Java implementation will be coming over here. So again, if you see, it's external handler for the Twilio, and I can come over here and save it, and then it will work. The last thing which I want to explain is the test connection. So let's say everything you have configured over here, you want to say, okay, whether it works or not. You can come over here and then key in the data and then also the phone number, and then you can send the message. So obviously over here I will send it because the information is wrong. The failover gateway or the secondary gateway, whether it's enabled, disabled, again the same settings of retries, the duration, allow, not allow, and all the other settings which are coming over here, very similar to the primary gateway. Yeah. Now that was with regards to the SMS gateway. So what we have seen is you have option of retries, then you have options of primary and secondary. Yeah, so then you have the length restriction, then you have the external communication. So there are many things that are available under this. And then now let's look at the so the USSD is again very similar. Now what I would like to highlight over here in context of USSD and also in context of voice is that in fundamentally operationally they are very similar to the SMS, and SMS gateway basically sending mobile message, that means a SMS text message to the mobile. Now USSD is also pertaining to mobile, and also voice is pertaining to mobile. So that means all these three, if you look at the settings, they are very similar in terms of how they behave and how they operate, as I've explained it for SMS, and something very similar for USSD. Yeah. Okay, one thing I would like to mention over here is that you have to put the proper host name when it comes to when it comes to sending message out. So meaning that the host name should be resolvable. If it's not resolvable, that means it will not work. So please make sure of that. Second is in the email part, which I'll explain now. This host name is very relevant because sometimes when you send the message out to the gateway, it will reject the message because your host name is wrong. So that is something which you have to define it. Again, let me quickly explain you the email part. Email again works on a similar concept of primary and secondary gateway. Similarly, you have the failover option. Similarly, you have the retries, and also you have the the duration, and then you have the details of which SMTP or email server to talk to, IP port, SSL enabled, credential, username and password, authentication enabled, and then also the sender details. Yeah. And then again, if you want to pass any additional information, you can do that. And then again, it also has the external gateway, which connects to that part. So over here, the server, that means this Axiom server, wherever it is running on that machine, your host name should be correctly configured. So you can go to your machine and just on the shell, if you type host name, it will tell you the right name, and please make sure it is correctly mapped with your DNS and all. If you don't do that, then the email server, that means in this case, which is Google, will reject your email. So please make note of that. Again, the secondary one is almost similar. Okay, I think this one looks configured, so let me just send a test email to myself. Okay, so let's just say I want to send it to myself. Sorry, this is the message pass test message from Axiom. Sorry, from Axiom. Yeah, P3, that is part 3. So this is my email ID, and I say send. So that's where the message will get sent from Google. Okay, great. So if you see over here, I've already got the message. Yeah, so that was a test message that I sent out, and I also got the success over here. So now going to the fourth part, which is basically the fax. Now again, fax is basically used for ePIN. So if you want to send something via ePIN, or if you want your other applications to use, or the ability to send a fax. So let's say if you want to send an a document like a PDF via fax, so you can actually use Axiom. Again, very similar, whether it's suspended or active, same retry count, same the ability to talk to the fax gateway, eFax gateway, and also the external plug and play kind of approach, again for both, for primary as well as secondary. And then lastly, I will go and explain about the push notification. Now Axiom push notification is basically offering three things. One is it is offering Android push, which I'll demo you. Then it also offers Apple based push, which is on the iOS or the devices, and then also the web push. So again, for the demo purpose or for this training, what I will be doing is I will be sending the Android push. So let me start with the web push. Now if you have seen, most of the devices now come with the ability of push. That means if you are using a browser or a mobile app, you get the push, which is, firstly, the key advantage is it is free. Secondly, it's more reliable in terms of client server communication, and thirdly, it works across any barriers of I would say international boundaries, so which makes it very, very attractive. And obviously it's more intuitive, more responsive, and it's in-app push, so the probability of people opening it is much higher. So in the web push, okay, so over here it's active. Again, similar retries. Then you have the delay. That means over here you say delay while idle. That means you want to delay it or not. That is a setting which is there. And then time to live. That means that if you are saying, okay, how much seconds it should live. So this is coming from the I would say the push gateway, the Google one that we have configured right now. And then you can have also how many retries you want. Then this is the basically, again, localhost setting is relevant in this one, and this is the GSM URL and also the app key. Now this app key you have to get from the Google. So when you have a Google account or Google developer account, a paid one or the free one, whichever you have, this is where you need to configure. And then also they give you a secret, so that's the Google sender secret. You also need to configure over here, and if anything additional you want the the external plugin to use. And then this is the external implementation. So we have already done the implementation for Google, and this can be used for sending it out. So from that perspective, all you need to do is just change the app key and also the Google key, and it can work fantastically with all this configuration. Something very similar is for the Apple push, active, inactive, again retries, whether you want to do sandbox or production. So Google has the keys which actually decide what you want to use, and in Apple you actually can say, okay, whether I want to do a sandbox push or a production push. And then again you have to specify the port and the IP, and then the bundle ID. Now this bundle ID is for your particular application that is being used, so it will use this for actually sending the messages out. And then this is the where you can upload the the PFX file or the certificate file, and also the password of that. So Apple and Google actually communicate securely with Axiom. So Axiom has to use a certificate and encrypt the data and sign the data to communicate with the Apple and Google, and then do the security part. So meaning that Apple and Google are enforcing any third party, like in this case Axiom, to communicate only securely with them over HTTPS using a certificate. So then the last one is the Android push. Again, very similar. You have settings, you have retry count. Then again, if you want to delay it or not, then you have the retries, and then you have the Google GSM. Again, very similar to the web push. You have the app key as well as the sender key, and then you have the push notification which is coming over here. So Google push, or that means GSM push, or what they call it as Firebase now, allows you to push the notification, and that notification can be pushed onto Chrome, Firefox, as well as Opera. Safari is different, so soon we're going to add that support also, and also IE. So we're also going to look at adding support for IE devices. Yeah. Now showing you a very quick demo. So what I have done is I have just streamed my screen from my sorry, I think my device has gone dead. 1 second. Yeah. Oops. Okay, 1 second. Okay, you just configure this one. Okay, so over here I will just come to the test connection, and then I will give the device token ID, which in this case is my email ID, and then okay, let's just quickly configure. What's the IP? 106. Sorry. Okay, sorry, the IP of my computer, my phone has changed. So I'm coming over here. Yeah, okay, great. So I'm just looking at my screen. Yeah, so I got my screen over here. Now I will be making the push. So let's just pick up a particular message. So let's just say, okay, this is a JSON message that my application needs or requires. So what I'll do is I'll just put it over here, and I'll say, okay, part 3 push. Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll also write a message. Yeah, hello from test app, test server. Yeah, testing team or demo team, let's just call it. Yeah, okay, so I'm sending it out. So I will press the button over here, and you would see that my phone over here has got the message. You would see over here, see, test 3 push, hello for the demo team. So and it was quite quick. I think let me send another one. So send. Yeah, so you see that there is another message which has come. So what I'm trying to highlight to you is that you know, as you see 2, that means there are 2 messages which have come to me. Yeah, and so what I'm trying to express to you is that we have the ability where we can offer multiple forms of communication outside, which is high availability, retries based, and also you have certain additional, you know, intelligence built on top of it, and then it's plug and play. So you have SMS, USSD, voice, email, fax, push, and inside push we actually have 3 different types coming over here, which is Android, Apple, as well as web push. So that's what I think we would like to conclude over here in this particular demo. So we have all these available for you under Axiom, and Axiom itself uses all this for various other features like out-of-band authentication, digital signing push, easy check-in, you know, and then simple one-time password over you know, SMS, email, or you know, voice, or you want to have two-way via USSD, or you want to have an ePIN via fax. So a lot of things that Axiom uses. What we have done is that we have exposed the same through the web services. So it gives you flexibility of not just, you know, having Axiom to use these services, but also to have other applications of yours to also enjoy these services. So Axiom is not just becoming your authentication platform, but it also becomes your what we call it as a communication platform, you know. So meaning that you can actually manage your communications via Axiom, and I think that is more relevant in today's world, where you have a single platform which can actually give you much more than what it's supposed to do. So it's a one-stop solution, not just for authentication, but also in terms of communication outside to the world. Yeah. With that, I would like to say thank you so much from my side and Yogesh's side. And if you have any questions, please do let us know. We are all here for you, and we will look forward for improving our products with your feedback, and also sharing you know, additional information if required. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.